rural broadband provision is one of the biggest challenges in Europe. And I have with me Xavier Rodríguez-Martin, who has achieved some outstanding delivery with broadband in that very area. Xavier, very excited to talk to you this morning. Tell us about what you've been doing in Portugal.
Yeah, I think that we have been doing something different in the sense of bringing the broadband benefits to a rural environment. We are creating a new narrative for rural broadband, offering or creating the conditions through our networks for the retail operators, which are our clients, to bring exactly the same kind of packages, triple play packages, at exactly the same price that they are offering or they have been offering in an urban environment for the last years. So that's a real novelty. This is not happening everywhere, and broadband is the utility of the telecoms, the 21st century. So it's absolutely fundamental to create the conditions at the institutional level, at the financial level for that to happen.
And you've done a lot of this with FTTH.
Yes. FTTH was the driver of the deployment of this network. Because paradoxically, today, the main driver of innovation is at the residential level. The kind of bandwidth that the youngsters, that our family require, is sometimes much higher than the bandwidth that the small and medium enterprises require. So in terms of content, in terms of applications, and of course, and the demand of network associated to that, FTTH is really the source of innovation and the driver of the deployment of fiber optic networks in all across Europe.
Well, that's brilliant news for FTTH, especially in rural areas. What are some of the benefits that you've seen as a result of this, some of the applications?
First of all, it's a matter of social justice. People living in the countryside have the right to have access to the same conditions that people have in the cities. Because today broadband is at the core of entertainment, education, working at home. We have to fix the population in the rural parts of the country and giving them the tools in order to explore their creativity in startup companies. We have to technify the agribusiness, for instance. And we need communications, we need a lot of information, we need all that for the different facets of the life of the people. In the government area, for instance, the internal part of the country has suffered much more from the closing of schools and from the closing of health centers. So now we have an incentive and we have the availability of the network to support the offline to online migration. So I think that it's absolutely necessary to give everybody in Europe the same conditions to prosper in their life and to have a richer life.
How have you managed it? What's the secret? Give us a tip that the rest of Europe can follow.
I mean, first of all, we have to find the right financial model. And that is different in every country, depending on the level of competition, depending on the level of public money that is the seed of all this, because this network did not exist because it was not economical for any operator to build this network alone. So we had the condition, the Portuguese government created the conditions to subsidize part of this network with the requirement of this network to be an absolutely open network, neutral network. Something which in theory happens in everywhere, but in practice does not happen. So this is a real open network. We have put private money on top of that, and we have created a model which is very lean and mean. We expect to be EBITDA positive in our first year of operation, and that's a requirement to have the aspiration to have a net profit in the years to come. So the model should be sustainable, the operation should be lean and mean, and it should be relevant to the clients. And that is, of course, I mean, the source of sustainability, of profitability of any investment and of any telecom network.
Xavier, congratulations on what you've achieved, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So an amazing example there of FTTH leading a major rural deployment in Portugal.